That's me. I'm just a sick panda laying in bed. I'm not laying in bed, but that's how I feel. All right, we'll get started here in a little bit. I'm going to be working on. Actually, I have quite a bit of stuff I need to work on. It's all the logins in the last 6 hours of people failing to get into our system, as well as root login attempts. Can't get in on root on a system exposed to the web. That's not how we do these things around here. All right, we'll get started. We're just taking our time. All right. So, I got a few things I need to work on in the lab. And few things we always need to work on are these. We always need to make sure that all the nodes are healthy so that people can get in them. Yeah, I actually specifically told it to make sure it had a black belt on it. But I also said the panda's sick in bed. So, yeah, the little AI that generated that was... there were some other ones that were too realistic looking, and then they had, like, him sitting there with, like, a bunch of, like, Kleenex and, like, Theraflu or something like that next to the bed. And I was like, that's not really... I don't really want to make it that realistic looking of a panda, so I like that one. It was kind of fun. So... I am legitimately messed up right now. So we're just going to kind of hang out, and I'm going to work on some stuff. We have a guest speaker coming on Saturday. So for people who are, not aware, we've got a Linux users group. It's in Discord, and we're doing a Linux systems administration course. And this next week will be Unit 10, and we'll be hammering the last of containers and Kubernetes and hopefully pulling all that together so you guys understand it. Now, the thing about it is, like, this course isn't to dig into, like, super technical stuff. We do technical stuff around here all the time. We got labs that'll dig you into Kubernetes and Docker and all that stuff. But what that course is more about, like, being a Linux system administrator on the job, right? So the person who's coming to talk, and this will be the 10th week next week, is my brother John. He's going to come. He runs OpenShift for a big insurance company, same one that I used to work at. And he just lives, eats, and breathes containers and operations, so he can tell you all about it. He also does a lot of middleware stuff, but he did... Let's see, he started on the Linux team, and then he moved over to our virtualization team for a while. Then he came back to Linux for a while, and then he went over to the OpenShift team. So, like, he's been there, and by the way, he's been there about 8 years now. So he's moved up multiple times. I think he was hired on as, like, a infrastructure engineer 1 or 2, and they've moved him up to a 6. So he's all the way up at the top infrastructure engineer you can be at that company, so you can ask him about that and stuff. But he's coming to talk to you guys next Saturday. I'm going to do the talk on the course, and I'll probably talk for about an hour. And then he'll talk for, well, as long as you guys want him to. I saw part of his presentation today, and I mean, he's probably got an hour and a half, and then any questions you guys ask, we can go late into the night if we want, you know. So it'll be good. It'll be a good little course. A lot of you guys are moving along and doing the Linux Systems Administration course. There's I wouldn't call it a prize at the end, but there is some value to doing that whole course that I think can maybe be useful for some of you guys. So, all right, let's sit here and figure out what we're doing. I have something I need to do, which I might as well get out of the way. Let's just do this right here. I have this question to answer for one of my college classes, so I might need to grab some. I might need to grab some information off the web, and some do a little bit of kind of like research light. So I might need to work on that here. I could do it either now or later, but that's something that I got to do. What is all this stuff doing? Oh, that was we don't need that anymore. That was one of my systems that I was working on. Yeah, so yeah, we're just kind of hanging out, and again, not working too hard because I'm a sick panda right now. We always joke around about being a sad panda. Well, now I'm a sick and a sad panda. I streamed on Saturday, and then I had a fever this whole weekend that was about a 101.5 all weekend. Even when I did Sunday morning, and I recorded the system, I was still pretty feverish. And yeah. So it's kind of an interesting. Oh yeah, there's Ranger. He's hanging out down there. Again, we're not working too hard. I'm just checking. So what I'm doing right now is just checking out the lab environment, making sure that I didn't leave any of the systems in a weird. I didn't leave anything in a weird state. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure they're all on the right container image and all that stuff. I can also check that here. Right, so I can see that they're all in the right container image and they've all been booted to that, and they've all got the right image and info, so that's good. That's what I want for right now. They're on the right version of the lab that we have for right now, and I could start working on the work for Sunday or Saturday this week, the Lab 10 stuff. I could start doing that, but what I might do is pull up some research here while I'm kind of hanging out with you guys, and yeah, it's Grafana. I use Grafana everywhere. Grafana's all over in the home lab. Yep. Street Track, I am not feeling much better. I mean, I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably like 30% right now, if 100% was the goal. So I'm not feeling great again yet at all. And I told the wife, I was like, man, like all the way through like my mid to late 30s, I was never in bed past noon. There was nothing I had ever had, no sickness that I had ever had kept me in bed past noon, never once. And then you might say, really? Yep, never once in my whole life. But then, man, ever since I hit like 40, I'm 43 now. But man, it's like I got hit like on Saturday. I did our little meeting and whatever, and then I just like got feverish, like really bad. So. No, I'm resting, Boris. I'm not really working too hard right now. I got to do some college stuff anyways, so I'm kind of looking through some database stuff. Let's say what I do need to do over here is I can just generally ask, like AI, when did the U.S. start keeping track unemployment numbers? So I'm curious as to when, because I don't actually know when they started doing that. Okay, so look, this is important, right? So historical U.S. rate, and then we can see how the government unemployment. So typically we stay away in research from like Wikipedia, even though Wikipedia is very accurate, guys. It's more accurate than most encyclopedias out there. But what I want here is this unemployed. This could be a good people with jobs. So it's well, there's some funny stuff about unemployed and employed. If you ever look at like being incarcerated is the same as being in the military, and then labor force and that kind of stuff. Causes of overlap. Okay, so this will be an interesting page. So what I'm going to do with this, if you guys have never seen this before, this is a pretty cool little tool. We're going to make sure Zotero's running, right? And Zotero will then take this tool right here, and it'll go Zotero connector, and we'll run it, and it will make this into, so I can create a bibliography item for that, and I can come over here, and then I can say references, and boom, and then that's the information. That's an APA 7 formatted, how the government measures unemployment. And then the other one that I wanted really was to see, oh, by the way, this is one of the fun things about this too. If I go double click on it, it'll take me to the page, or if you're offline, it'll actually take you to the system. So what do I want to, I need to see if they have in here okay, so what I need then is if I can find, go back here, I'll leave that one open because I want that. I'll move this over here because this is like my research stuff, and I'll move this down, and you guys can still watch that thing spin if you want. And then I'll move this over here, and I'll say, where is, I don't want any of those things, but I do want Investopedia. So the U.S. employment rate has been tabulated since that, but typically articles like this, these are not peer-reviewed articles. So non-peer-reviewed articles are not nearly as good as peer-reviewed articles. So, but typically if you're finding things that are just true, you can go find that information out, right? So I'm going to come over here and let's go look for Department of Labor. U.S. Department of Labor. I'm just reading stuff now, guys. Oh, never fear the Boris here. Yeah. Zotero is one of the best things I've ever found on the web. All of my stuff, even though this looks kind of misorganized, I can go grab anything. I can search for things. I can say like let's say I wanted to look for quantitative, right? Quantitative engineering, and if I wanted like my quantitative analysis stuff, I'd go there. Yeah. Thanks for coming by, though. You guys don't have to hang out any more than you need to, but you're welcome to. So anyways, yeah, Zotero is one of my favorites. Let's go. So the heart of the question is really what was the government doing, being involved with these, with these affairs. and what was the government trying to do in the Great Depression, right? Um, and the way that I'm going to take this, or the way that I've been looking at this, is I want to look at when the statistics started, right? When did we first start? Um, we need to put that first. Now, these are not as good as peer-reviewed docs, so I'm going to need to put some peer-reviewed docs in here too. But for this is just a comment, like this is just a chat thing for the college, so it's not like that thing that I'm writing is not like a major. It's not like some major presentation. I'm just writing a little project type doc. So just that. All right. All right. Sorry. All right, guys. I'm focusing. I'm focusing. Right. What are we doing here? So one other thing I want to do then here is, so we got those two things. I need to ask one of these. I feel like it was in here. I'm gonna back out of here, and I want to find. So, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Let's go look at this one. So, oh wow, yeah, there's some good info in here. So this probably right here, this discussion here, is going to tie in with that other thing that I just read, where they moved away from just the bureau. Yeah, so this is a archived document, but it's still got info in it, which is good. So we're going to do Zotero on this, and then we'll open this up here, and boom. Yeah, good. I think that'll be a that's enough. That's enough for basically for probably, let's see where this goes. Yeah, Social Security history, ND, retrieved those days. All right, so then we got to answer the questions, right? We gotta go and we gotta look at the info, and then we have to understand why did the government intervene and how did it intervene. So one of the things I'm going to talk about is, the government really started tracking the unemployment numbers at that time, and their goal was to keep people gainfully employed, right? And now some other people have already, like, I'm not the first one to comment, so other people are going to have already been commenting and stuff, so I'm taking it a different path than they did, right? Like, everybody's got good information, but some people have already dug into, like, all the acts that were done during that time and all the federal assistance that was put out for the Great Depression, and people working with unions and different all kinds of stuff, and the movement of people. And I'm going to take it a different direction and look at how the government really started tracking unemployment as a major metric. In fact, one of the things that was said in one of those docs that I was just reading was that any unit of work that a person can do that's not being done is a waste. It can never be gotten back. And that's the exact same thing that I tell you guys about virtualization, right? Like, in virtualization, when we go in here, I've shown you guys this before, but let's pull it up. When we look at systems, right, and we dig in, get out of here. When we look at systems, and we go to, and we look at this, right, and I've shown you guys this before, but I'm going to pull it up again, even though I showed this just the other day. Like, everything right here everything right here is lost forever. Like for every 1 second that you use 15% of your computer, 85% of that CPU cycle is lost, and it will never be gotten back, right? So it's the same thing with unemployment. You can't get this productivity can never come back. On this day when I was using about 15% of my system, I will never get that back, right? That stuff that's lost. So one of the things that we deal with in engineering is efficiencies of systems, how to pack and be more dense. And I've shown you guys this before, how virtualization and then containerization is an effort to squeeze more out of your hardware, right? Well, anyways, so that's what I'm kind of talking about in my that's what I'm going to talk about in my post tonight for my college thing. So so what are you guys all working on? I know we have quite a few people that are still trying to hold on and complete the Linux Systems Administration course. I know it's a lot of work. It's about 8 hours a week, 6 to 8 hours a week of work for you guys. But some of you guys have been sticking with it. Some of you guys have been going on it. If you guys don't know, that's just up here in the Discord, right? Go to the Discord here, boom, and then you just go, where's Discord? Yeah, you go to ProLug Projects, and here's everything for the course. It's completely free. Doesn't cost you guys anything. All it is your time, right? I mean, I guess there's some cost to it. You guys spend your time, but I'm never gonna charge you anything for it. The course is here. It's I'm going to rework it and make it better. Obviously, some of the early stuff is in DocX, and you guys asked for PDF formats and that kind of stuff. There's also all of the things recorded here in the 16-week course here. We only are up through Unit 9 recorded because we're in Unit 9, so then next week we'll have Unit 10 recorded. Again, my brother's coming to talk to you guys on Saturday, so if you guys ever want to join any of those groups, you just go up to events, and there's some study groups. And then there's also the course right here. So there's all this stuff. Yeah, FastCon, nice. I was actually sitting in a work meeting all week or all day, even though I was very unwell and just sitting here. And then also, it's also Veterans Day, so technically I was off, but I was in this training meeting all day working on Weka. So if you guys have never used WEKA, yeah, Weka, that's a very high-speed, fast file system, and it's interesting how they attain the high speed. You should really look at it. I mean, if any of you are interested in it, they bond their containers to CPUs, and then just provide maximum read and write speed through the network for whatever their processes. So they do a lot of metadata tagging, and then they preempt the files and move them between the devices so that they can more quickly respond. It's a really interesting system. I've shown you guys white papers on it before, but we were building it in our lab for work today, so I was just kind of sitting with everybody when they were doing that. So, but anyways, yeah, you guys are welcome to hang out in here, and the bot will welcome you guys if you hop in, and the bot will talk trash to you as he normally does. That's pretty normal around here for everybody. You guys have access to the labs. All you got to do is hop into the it's super easy. You just got to go to prolugasuscom.com. I'll show you guys this. This is how you get in, prolugasuscom.com. It's all over in the Discord. You just have to know how to connect. And I think I think my home IP is actually locked out for myself. That's kind of funny. But I can get in it from, I'll show you guys how to get in it from the other system. Hold on. Yeah. So hold on, I'll just do AC, and I'll make a new one. And then now I've got a new session over here as me, and I'll just SSH to streamer 1 at 192.168.11.245, which is my home lab. But for you guys on the outside, you would just come in with that prolugasuscom.com. And then I don't remember what the password is, but the password's floating around out there. I know where to go find it, so hold on a second. You guys can find it in the like conference chat. Whoops, didn't mean to go into the chat. I'll go find it real quick and I'll connect. I'll just show you guys how a connection looks if you've never seen it. Where's that password at? I've forgotten the password because I said it so long ago, and I just basically wait for the guys to tell me where it is. All right, hold on. Oh, where is it? Come on, I gotta find it. It's somewhere in here. Man, it's way further back than I thought it would be. 1019. Okay, well that's way far back. All right, well that doesn't help me any then. Let me hop out of there. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I gotta find this password because I don't remember what it is. Hey, Rob Dom, how's it going? We're not working too hard today. There it is. Okay, Big Lab something, right? All right. So now I'm gonna connect. I'm gonna drop in that password, and then it's gonna say you got 10 seconds to pick where you're gonna go, buddy. And I'm gonna pick 13. Oh, whoops! I did not enter valid. All right, let's see if I can get in. Boom, enter, and I'm gonna say I want to go to 13. Wait, do I have that? Oh man, oh geez, I have not up. I need to fix that script, guys. Okay, all right. Well, anyways, now I'm in Rocky 13. All right, then I exit and I get back out. Let's fix that script real quick. I'll show you guys where we fix it at. Let's go here. C router was just me showing you guys stuff in the C router. I don't want to be shit. Okay, yeah. Just go back here. All right, so CD to where the heck are we? Did we put it right in? I don't know exactly where I have it. Mount proct opt var chroot. There we go. All right, so here's where chroot jail exists, where the user gets jailed as they come in, right to our system. Hold on, I gotta get this working over here. All right. Yeah. The Jujitsu Panda was me being sick in bed. All right, so we're gonna come in here and we're gonna go to our what is it? It's his bin. Yeah, so it's his bin. And then it's his bastion.sh script. And what the problem is that I need to update this right here, that line at the top. 20 is the exit, so that's good. Let's go page up. Right here. So I messed that up. That's my bad. 20. All right, so now if a user were to do that, they would see that correct. That's funny. I'm surprised nobody told me that. Like I would have thought one of you guys would have told me that I had bullshit in my script. But guys, this is a bastion. If anybody's ever like, what the hell's Scott talking about with a bastion? Like, where's this bastion thing come from? I actually have. If you go to my GitHub, I have a bastion project that I wrote. This is still how we do it right here. This is how I've done this in government projects. This is, and the idea is, the way, it's Rocky 9.4. Yeah, it's Rocky 9.4 that we're using. The way that this is designed to work, I had tested it with CentOS 7 and 8. This system I'm on is CentOS 7. So, the Bastion setup is a simple little site.yaml. It tells you the information that you need when you deploy, and then if you were to pull this and run this inside of like a, in my case, inside of a AWX, then there's files and tasks, and the one task is to build that whole environment out. And me and Michael Pessa originally wrote this, but this is out there for any of you guys that need to jail a user and push everything over. And then it actually reports out to Ansible when we're done. And then the files right here, the bastion.sh, this is the old one. This is the one that I used to use for sending people to the dungeons when we used to do the dungeons. So obviously I've modified the one in the home lab different. And then there's a present one. When we deploy it, it tells you that the deploy is good, and we send it to our Discord. And then we've got all the other stuff here. So yeah, if you guys want to see how some of this stuff works, you can go in there and use it. And my Bastion deploy, the thing that I do with that is the exact same thing that I've used in government system. I've built a bunch of different government systems, and it's definitely something that's not super hard for you guys to do if you wanted to. So you would just have to modify certain things for your environment. So anyways, yeah, that's that. That's my typical little, I don't do a whole lot on Git because I'm not a programmer, but I do enough out there that the Bastion stuff I think might be interesting to some people, and we'll probably do some Bastion setup for you guys that want to see that deeper after we get done with the Linux Systems Administration course, because I know people come in later and they're like, oh shoot, what the heck is that? And then I want to show them what it is, but I can't keep explaining everything from the middle, so we'll probably just have a dedicated time where I can show the whole piece, the whole thing, how we jail a user, how we get to a working system as we do a pass through like that. So oh, Robodom messaged me. What's this? Hold on. Oh, thanks, Robodom. I just saw that, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I can never remember, man. It's been so long ago. So we were checking the environment. We were making sure all our nodes were good and that kind of stuff. So the node's pretty healthy. Everything's kind of working and moving along. If any of you guys have any questions about the course, or if you want to know more about it, maybe you haven't gotten to start in there yet and you want to start, we're getting near the end of it, but there's still a lot of project stuff you can do. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, actually, Street Track, I probably have just enough hardware now where I could probably point you guys. So this is what's happening in the home lab. You guys come in, you jump into a Bastion down here in P01 Jump 01. That's my jump box for the whole environment. You guys pass through and land in one of these rocky nodes, right? But like Street Track was just saying, you guys have root on these boxes, so technically I could make a lab where you guys then set up a locked-in user here, and then you log into that user, and that user can just pick one of these nodes over here. That would be pretty straightforward and easy to do. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, and then I could just give you guys the inmate password, because these are all inmate. These ones are all the inmate labs. You get dropped in like a dungeon, so we could drop you in the inmates. Yeah, we could. Yeah, that would be a fun lab. So let me put that in my. Where's my notes here? Let's say set up a Bastion lab for after the Linux. So that'll probably be in the early next year, but it's super simple to do. And one of the cool things about a Bastion is, like, let's say I just have to purge everybody. Let's just say, there's some real, fuckery going on in the environment, and I really just have to get everybody out. Because everybody's coming in through the one environment, the one system here, P01 Jump 01, when you cut that system out, or you cut that user, if I kill all the processes in here, it'll kill everybody's connections into the environment. And that's a pretty common way that we do give people access to, like, a what we call a air-gapped environment. I can give you access through a Bastion, and then if anything goes wrong, I can just kill the Bastions. I just cut the Bastion lines, and nobody has access, nobody has any problems anymore. Yeah, so we're just hanging out, guys. We're not working too hard right now. I'll probably go back to my little college stuff here in a little bit. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna walk around, take a break real quick. Let's make sure Ranger is doing okay. Yep. And I'll just say Hourglass, and we'll say quick break. Right here. Quick break. All right, 8 minutes. Take a break real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna get some water. That's the main thing I do on my breaks. I just walk around and get some water. So, um, yeah, I'll be back. Robodom's in charge, and Robodom, let him know about the Discord in case anybody wants to go hang out in there. Yeah, now on the plus side, people were telling me to get some rest. I am resting. This is relaxing for me, right? Hanging out with you guys, making sure that there's some place to go and talk systems and talk engineering and that kind of stuff. We've been focusing heavily on administration topics, but we are gonna turn around and do an engineering one after. So you guys are gonna have to brush up on some of your math. You're gonna have to think about build scenarios, and I'm gonna have to probably do some. There's gonna be some more retooling in the lab to give some people some certain types of access. Yeah, this isn't too bad though, Robot. I was gonna be sitting here anyways, right? The wife went to Bunko for the night, so I'm just kind of hanging out. So I was gonna be sitting here hanging out anyways. I figured I'd hop on with you guys. Like I'm not thinking too hard. Um, Probably right before you hopped on, I was over here pulling a bunch of stuff for a college post that I have to do, um, and I have to. Yeah, yeah. I'm not working too hard, guys. I'm relaxing. I'm not quite laying down like that panda, but I am resting for sure. Don't think I'm working too hard right now. Like I actually started to work a little hard thinking there, and then I was like, yeah, I'll just get this all prepped, and then I'll be done. But some people I think saw some cool stuff with Zotero. If you guys have never used Zotero, man, it's just you can just go like, oh hey, here's the MITRE ATT&CK website, and here's a bibliography from it, and boom, you just go drop it somewhere. You got you go make a new one of these and you say, yeah, there's a MITRE, and that's when I retrieved it. So that was a while ago. I'd probably go grab a new version of it, but it's really nice. Like these things were all retrieved today, right? Even though there's no date associated with these, but these are from the different government sites that exist, and then people can go look at those if they want to read my references. Now, I'm probably going to do one more reference, which will be a peer reviewed journal. So yeah, no, Robodom. So I had to sit here today. It was kind of funny. We were working. Even though today's Veterans Day, we did like a 3 hour. We were going to build out Weka in our lab, so we had one of the Weka guys with us. Weka is this, distributed, very fast, very super efficient file system. Man, it's going to give Lustre and GPFS and some of these other cluster tools a huge. What those are called parallel file systems. It's going to give them a massive run for their money. Like, and we could look at the architecture if you guys want. But anyways, we've been building it into some of our clusters, and it's super fucking fast, like super fast. And but you have to pin. So, well, without going too much into it, you always have the 0 processor on a Linux box is almost always, you just leave that for the OS. But then typically the first 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the CPU numbers. You pin those to a tool like that. So now you've taken away 5 of the CPUs that then you can use for whatever your job scheduler is, like Slurm. So then Slurm knows it can only use like 5 through, let's say 5 through 64 or something. So now you got to go do some math on that, and you go, okay, well, I got 59 processors per machine, and it's just this whole thing, and that starts to be this whole. We actually ran into some architecture issues because you have to have, when you do jobs on Linux systems and you distribute them, one of the primary rules that will help you with stability is keeping your ratio of CPUs available and memory exactly the same. And you say, what do you mean by that, Scott? If I have 256 cores in a box, 256 cores, and I have 1 terabyte of RAM, I have 1 core per 4 gigs of RAM, right? So, but this changes it all, because typically we leave 0, well, and 0 can be fine. You don't actually have to allocate it. But now we've got to take the 4, 1 through 4, and allocate those as dedicated to this Weka tool. So then it changes your considerations. Now, as long as that's unique, or not unique, as long as that's uniform along your cluster, it's perfectly acceptable, because now everything's the same. But this is one of these things that like, as we do engineering and we think about things at scale, we have all these other considerations and things to think about. I tell you guys all the time, it's not just about knowing Linux. Linux is its own thing, and Linux is really good, and that's what I spend literally all day doing. But you got to understand the engineering part of it, and that's going to be a big part of the engineering course. We're going to get into base, probably some stats and maybe some base. There'll definitely be some algebra and stats involved, just to show you guys the things that you have to consider if you're going to build systems for people, and you're going to build, working systems, that kind of stuff. So, all right, that was my break. I was already talking again, but we're not really doing much, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so Robodom, I was working today, even though it was a day off. That 3-hour session became a 6-hour session. So, and Natasha over on the YouTube side, yeah, hopefully this stuff's useful to you. There's Ranger. You guys can see Ranger Dog down there. He's hanging out. I'm really just on until the wife gets home, and then when the wife gets home, maybe her and I will watch some stuff. I've slept most of the day, a good part of the day, and then I haven't eaten much today. That's probably good. I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow morning at 5 like normal, but it's wrestling. So if I still don't feel good in the morning, or if I have any fever, I'll just go. Yeah, she actually made soup for me, Robodom. She made cheddar broccoli soup downstairs. So I have cheddar broccoli, or broccoli cheese soup, whatever the hell that stuff's called. She makes some pretty good soup, the wife does. And so I'll go, let's see. I'll go what was I thinking? Yeah, this is the worst thing about when I'm sick, is I have like this brain fog. Also, the brain fog rolls in as I get older. Like, my brain doesn't work as fast as it did when I was younger. And that's terrible. It feels like Flowers for Algernon, if you guys are familiar with that. That was a terrible. That's one of, like, seriously, when you become an adult and you look at that, that's one of the most terrifying things I've ever thought of. Like, just your mind closing in on you as you lose your intelligence. It's terrible. But anyways, like, as I get older, I have more of a mind fog. But as I'm sick, it's even worse. Oh, where's I going with that? The wife was doing. Yeah, she made me that soup. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Flowers for Algernon. If you guys aren't familiar, the guy got super intelligence through this thing that they gave these rats, and he was like the first human test, and he was kind of like a special needs person, you know. And then he becomes super intelligent, and his writing gets better, and he's logging his journal, and he's getting smarter and smarter, and then he starts to lose it. It like his grasp of it all goes away. Hey, hey RWX Rob, how's it going? I'm kind of just chilling today. I'm a little sick, a little under the weather. I had a 101.5 fever all weekend. Oh, I was saying about going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, but if I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to wrestle. We've got a little workout area, and I'll just go ride the little Devil's Tricycle or whatever. If you guys have ever seen one of those little things where you just kind of, it's like a air bike. They're called Aerodyne bikes. That's what they're called. So yeah, Rob. Sorry, not Robodom. Rob, I appreciate you coming by. I was watching you earlier. I was hanging out there a little bit, so yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate the community coming over. We're not working too hard here. I was just checking my environment out because we're running a Linux Systems Administration course in our Discord. It's free, and I just wanted to make sure all of our environments are available for people. So there's 19 Rocky boxes for people to use. And I was just checking them. I can go through and check them and make sure that they're good. It looks like we might even have, we might even have somebody in one of them. So like Rocky 15 has somebody in it, or at least somebody connected to it. So that's kind of cool. And we could go dig in on where, and then 17's got somebody on it too. So that's kind of cool. But the lab environment is there for people to get into and use and test stuff out and all that stuff. So yeah, I definitely have some brain fog going on, Robodom. I'm not as sharp when I'm ill. There's Ranger, my dog. He's a guard dog, but he's not working super hard because, you know, that's him. He's got his own little area downstairs by the fireplace. But it's 80 in Glendale, right? I think it's 65 right now, so it's not really fireplace weather. But he does have his stuff right by the fireplace if he wants it. He's got 2 different beds that he can lay on too. So he's kind of a spoiled dog. He's very old though. He just turned 13, so he doesn't have much time left. He gets up slow. He has a hard time walking. We even had to we bought these carpets for him, and the carpets lead all the way out, so he can walk around without having any problems, you know, that kind of stuff. So, all right. So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. That's kind of what the system and the environment looks like. I do need to clean a lot of this stuff up, but yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out tonight, not working too hard, and yeah. In the Discord, by the way, in case anybody wants to go grab I tell you guys all the time, if you join the Discord and then you grab everything and run away like a cartoon villain, I don't care, right? Like if you just take all the free stuff, I don't care. But in the Discord, here's the work for the class. So this is like the worksheet and the things that you'd have to go look at and answer. And then there's discussion posts where you can go in and you can talk with other people about about whatever the questions are, and you can answer. So if you do the course with us, you have to do 2 discussion posts a week, and most people are spending about 6 to 8 hours a week of working on it. So it's a significant amount of work. And then there's a lab. There's always a lab, and I have the labs all set up for you guys to come in here, or you can do them on your own. You could go and do you could be in the labs, and so yeah, people can do their own environment. They can go up in Killer Coda, which is a free site for systems, and then also they can be down here. So Killer Coda looks like this. Completely free site that just drops you in any environment you want. You want to learn some Ansible? This guy Scott will teach you Ansible. Of course I know Scott. Scott is me. But anyways, these are my Ansible labs, right? And they hopefully give you a good little primer on how to do Ansible in a Linux context, right? Like how you can use it to just move stuff around Yeah, he's all right. Well, he's not doing all right now. He's definitely losing his mind and sick, but I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I appreciate Rob Braden over here. I appreciate any of you guys that hang out with me. We're just we're not working too hard because I said Rob Raiding over here, not Rob Braden. Who the hell's Rob Braden? Guys, my closed captioning is not perfect, and I think it's hilarious sometimes. Also, I've told you guys before, like, I can swear, but it won't, like, I can say God, and I can say damn, but I can't say those two together. Well, I can say them together, it won't do it. And if I swear or any of that kind of stuff, it won't say it either, so that's kind of funny. I always thought that was kind of a funny little proclivity of that. Alright. Oh, man. I'm definitely more snotty than normal. Yeah, let's go look at, I'll show you guys something fun. Let's go to Excalidraw. You guys have never been on Excalidraw. Let's wipe the page. We'll just reset the canvas. Where's he at? Reset the canvas. Boom. And I'll link this to you guys. If anybody wants to hop on the canvas with me, you could be on the same canvas as me. It's actually a fun little thing. I'll link this to you guys here on the Twitch side. And on the Twitch side, you'll have to... it breaks the link with the comma. So you have to grab it and just drop it in. But you guys can be in the same session with me if you've never done this before. And then Excalidraw is just this awesome tool for drawing. Actually, it's funny, I learned about this tool from Rob. So any of you guys that follow Rob probably have seen this tool before. But anyways, you can come over here now and you can go text a diagram. And I can say, you know what? I'm just going to describe that the Bastion system is prolog.asuscom.com on port 22. Users connect from out in the world, anywhere on the internet, anywhere from the internet, right? So I'm saying some things to this, and we're gonna see what kind of little stuff it builds. This will be kind of fun. Users connect from anywhere. They get dropped. Bastion system is this. Users connect from out, and as the user, streamer 1. That's what users come in. They get jailed on P01 jump. Well, so we'll say they get jailed on as they enter the system and are presented with 19 servers they can jump to. Users then connect to any of those 19 lab servers named Rocky. Oops. 1 to Rocky 19. Let's see how well this builds it. This might be something kind of fun here. I don't know. Sometimes it builds pretty cool stuff. You only have so many requests per day, so I only have 9 more requests. They use on the internet, SSHN to Bastion. They get a jailed environment. They get a server selection. They choose a server, choose a server, choose a server. That's actually pretty good. I like that, right? And then I can drop that in, and any of you guys could take that and modify it or whatever. And I can take it and I can save right now. And I can say, oh, I want to save it before anybody messes with it. And I say Bastion, maybe Bastion drawing. Right? So then I can move down. This is one of the things I like to do. I can move down and I can say, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's see what another look at it this might look like. What other ones might this maybe generate? Because it'll give it does a few different ones. It almost always does like a top-down hierarchy. Oh wow, okay, that's interesting. What does this one look like? I mean, that's definitely a thing, right? And that's definitely real. That's accurate, right, to what I said. So that's kind of cool. We can come down. By the way, you guys, I don't know if you guys linked that or if anybody jumped in there, but you guys can actually be in the same room as me. And I can just save it again to the current file, and it'll just keep saving it for me. All right, so I'm gonna go down and make another one. Let's see what other ones look like. You can also use Mermaid, and Mermaid will draw things for you based on whatever you ask it for. So I think this way it had something to do with Grafana, right? And then Mermaid is a like a flowchart language apparently. I don't know much about it, but it is kind of cool that you can build graphs and just drop them right in here if you're using some tool that can generate Mermaid for you. All right, anyway, so let's generate again. Let's see what this kind of looks like. I'm just messing around here, guys. I'm not working very hard. Yeah, if you guys have questions or if any of this stuff is interesting to you, you guys are yeah, I'm going to grab this and move this down. You guys can modify this any way you want. Also, if you guys are doing stuff on here, you can save it for your own. Yeah, guys, Excalidraw, I've seen some really cool projects. We were doing some dashboarding at one of my clients a while back, and we just kind of said, like, we just kind of drew some lines like this, and then we did, ideas over here. And then it was like dashboards types maybe, and then what we were trying to do was determine what type of dashboards we wanted to build for our customers. And the team I was on, we were the high performance compute team for the college that I was working with, and we just wanted to have, you guys can modify this stuff all you want. I already have it saved off, so you can break anything you want here. But it's a cool little tool, and you can draw stuff. You can even go, I have a little stylus tablet here, and I can say, okay, dashboard types, maybe, oh, whoops, I can hit Control Z. I go here and go, well, dashboard, maybe here, and then maybe this window, and then, maybe this window and this one, and then I can zoom in, and maybe that's what I want to see, and then I'll go and draw, or I'll clean it all up, right? And you can just mock stuff up really quickly, and then you can share this with other people. Like, you guys could be on here working with me, or we could be doing whatever. You can even drop in, you can drop in photos you've got. You can drop in text, obviously, all this stuff. There's a tremendous amount of ability to collaborate in this free tool. And here's one of the cool things about Excalidraw. It's a free and open source tool. So if you get tired, if you're like, well, I don't really trust Excalidraw.com, you can run Excalidraw in your own environment. And Excalidraw is pretty good. You can come over here in like LogSec, and you could just do draw. This was a cool thing that Treasure showed me. And boom, I've got an Excalidraw right here. So now I've got my own little Excalidraw inside of, inside of my environment here, and I can just draw these things out. I could say, right, hi, right, or whatever, and you could just draw them and put them right in your notes. And then you can actually save this as an Excalidraw locally. Another thing, if you guys use, I know some of you guys use VS Code, you can use VS Code, and you can, your Excalidraws, this is one of my Excalidraws that I use to show people, like, golden images and different stuff about systems stuff, or our monitoring, how's our monitoring work in the lab. So if you use VS Code, you can also open up, there's an extension for Excalidraw. And again, Rob uses this, so that's where I had originally seen it, was Rob uses this sometimes for drawing, and you could use it for collaboration. Let's say we wanted to plan out some Linux course, you guys could be in here, and you guys could be drawing stuff, or we could be planning out what we wanted to see in our ideas or whatever, so I can come in here though, and whoops, go up here, and I can just start dropping in more text. I want to generate more of these. Let's see what other things this might generate as our little lab here. So that's similar to one that we just had. Let's generate another one. That's cool. Let me show you guys one that I use. I actually did this professionally. So, werewolf. And I needed to do, well, I'm going to show you guys. This is something I actually did professionally when I did some training the other day. I did some training out in Hawaii, some of you guys know. And I needed this right here. So in overlays, I needed to explain how overlays work. And I wanted to show the different ways that overlays work. So I grabbed all this right here. This is actually, I actually did this. And I said, you know what? Can you guys give me a pretty good drawing of that? Like, I understand it, but I kind of want you guys to draw it out for me. And this gave me a pretty good, I actually used this in my presentation, the drawing that this gave me. That one's not as good. Maybe I don't want this line, right? Because maybe that's not as important. Default is both. Yep. Okay. That, and we'll try it again. We still have 4 requests left, so we can do this. I think this is actually what I used. It's okay. Let's take this off. Let's take this part off right here, and then we'll generate this. That one's still kind of messy, so maybe we generate it again. That's fine. That actually isn't bad. So you got overlay configuration for the default profile. You've got a system overlay which runs only during boot, and a runtime overlay which runs periodically. That's pretty good. So then we could insert this down, and then now that becomes, and that's not the exact one I used, but that's not far off. I think I could show you guys the one I used. Let me see if I have it here. Let's open file. There's Werewolf containers. That was one that I messed with the other day. What would I have called it? I don't know what I would have called this, guys. It definitely wasn't the containers one. But let's see what this one looked like. Oh, that was one that I actually used for work too, but that one got used in a different way. I can't show you guys that one because of the names in it. But suffice it to say, this is pretty good right here. This shows if you knew nothing else about Linux, right, or about Werewolf, and I said, hey, there's this thing called an overlay, and as the system boots, you pull. You pull a system overlay that runs during boot. I always wonder when Fisherman's around, but I think we found him. The system overlay runs during boot, and the runtime overlay runs periodically. And then you might say, I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. You might say, well, Scott, can you prove that to me? Can you show that to me? Yeah. Let's go take one of these nodes where nobody's doing anything. Let's go SSH to Rocky 1 real quick. Nobody's on here, right? So we reboot him. So we reboot Rocky 1. Then we go and we watch the system boot. And as the system boots, we're going to do a tail-f on var log werewolf. And the werewolf log is going to keep track of runtime. We don't want to see any runtimes right now. So I'll show you why in a little bit. I did a grep-vi for runtime. But what we're going to see is as this node comes up and does its DHCP request, and then it does an iPXE and grabs who it is and figures out the information it's pulling. See, it can't boot off a disk. It has no CD-ROM. So it goes to iPXE. He's going to pull from Werewolf over TFTP. And there it is. He's starting to pull his information. And when he does, he's going to pull a kernel. He needs a kernel. And then he also needs an init RAM-FS. Those are the 2 things you need. There you go. Linux developer, you said, hi, Het, how are you doing tonight? I am not well. I'm trying not to work too hard, but I've been, I was shooting like a 101.5 temperature all this weekend. And I'm getting over it, but it's slow. So I'm kind of just working on hopefully getting over it all. So yeah, it was wild. I was like shivering and under blankets and stuff, and I couldn't get warm no matter what I did. I'm not working too hard. I'm kind of chilling. So look, the system pulled all this stuff, but watch right here. You're gonna see him pull his system overlay, and you're gonna see over here him extract his system overlay. At the source by that I mean keys. I told the wife I'm pretty sure I was over 101.5 because we have one of those ones that's just a laser on your forehead, but she did. The wife made me, so I had just drank some cold water, and then she made me do it under my tongue, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure in 5 minutes that's still gonna be. Look, here's a system overlays right here. This is the system type overlay, so that's one time as you start. Over here you see he grabbed his system image, his system overlay. And then what will happen is this node will boot, and he'll have a client on him, a WW client service that's running, and every 10 minutes that one will check back in, and we'll pull this off of here. We'll pull this off, and we'll just watch the werewolf log. Now that all the werewolf nodes, all the Rocky nodes are back up, we will, so when this one finishes and comes up, we'll come over here, and we'll just say, okay, now show me everything that's going on. And all the nodes will just be every 10 minutes coming in and grabbing their runtime overlays. So the nodes will grab their runtime overlays, and you might say, well, what does that mean? Like, what are overlays? Overlays are additional parts of the file system or Linux system that you can configure, and you can give them configurations that change or stay updated with your overall system. So watch this. So werewolf is controlling those 19 nodes. If I cd to var lib werewolf, and in here I go to overlays, and the overlay for all of these different nodes, the one, so WW init is the generic one. If I want to see what overlays are set for all my nodes, I can go like this: WW client, WWCTL, which is werewolf control, node list dash a grep dash I overlay. So all the nodes have as their runtime is generic. So everything in here in generic under root fs is the things that are getting pushed over as the node is running. So group hosts whatever this james.conf is. I don't know what that is. And then password. Maybe I put that file in there. I don't know. I might have been messing around one day. But these are all getting pushed out. So what that means then, this password is grabbing password from my local machine, and it's pushing it to all those nodes. So what that might mean then for us to look at real quick is let's SSH2 Rocky 1 real quick, right? He's up. He hasn't been up very long. And let's clear, and let's say, let's just do an ID over here and say ID fisherman. Do we agree that there's no fisherman on that machine? Yes. So now over here, I'll just say user add fisherman. Oh gosh. My fingers aren't working today. So user add fisherman on werewolf. And then we'll go back into Rocky 1, and we'll just while true do ID fisherman sleep 10 done, right? And we'll just sit here and hang out and watch until that overlay gets grabbed again every, approximately 10 minutes on our node, and this node will then have fisherman as a user because it got pushed over. Wait, I need to be clear. It's not pushed over, it's pulled over because it's the WW client pulling the overlay. Oh, actually I take it back. No, this should work. This should work. Okay. I was thinking I had changed something else, but let's look. This one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions, right? So let's watch this happen. Heck, can I help teach Quadlets? I don't even know what Quadlets is. The Linux developer, you guys are welcome. I tell you guys all the time, you guys can use the Discord however you want. If you want to let people know that there's an event, or if you want to let me know to make an event, or any of the other guys like Fisherman, just let them know, hey, there's a event coming up, and we'll make an event for you. Yeah. Yeah, if you have some topic or something, we would definitely make it. We have a bunch of events running. There's another guy who can make them now, Treasure, as well. So all of my mods can make them, and so all the mods can make them. And Treasure has his own little group. I think he's the only one in it. Where is he? I don't know. People were talking about how his name was Blue the other day, and they were jealous. But he's one of the only other guys who can make stuff in the server as far as events. But we can make events for you if you wanted. Like if you were like, hey, this Sunday I want to come talk. I don't know. I guess just whatever you would want to show people, However interactive you want it to be, or if you just want to do demos and stuff, you're welcome to do all that stuff. Also, you guys will note that the bot always welcomes you into the server. You can ask the bot questions. The bot's mostly a smart ass, though, so he might hurt your feelings if you ask him questions incorrectly. Let's see if I'm correct here. Does this actually work or does it not? Pierre, you said I understand nothing. That's a good place to start, right? Like not knowing things is a good place. Not and knowing that you don't know things is also a good thing, right? It's okay to be there, right? Then what we do is we start to figure out how to go from there. Um, I have a talk that I do. I can, I mean, I could roughly go through it if we wanted, but um, well, maybe we'll save it for when I feel a little better. But there's a talk that I do on like being successful in the engineering field after college, but it's also just for anybody, right? And it's like, well, how do we be successful as engineers? Well, we have to understand our value proposition, and then we have to be good at that value proposition. If we don't even understand why we're engineers, then well, that can start to be scary. I guess as that kind of stuff. So, um, well, at least I mean, not maybe not scary, but you don't want to be a have you guys ever heard the term a post turtle? Post turtle is a term. It's typically used for politicians or other people that you don't like, but it tends to mean like if you ever saw a turtle up on a post, you would know that he didn't put himself up there. You would know that he's probably very confused about what he's doing up there. And he probably doesn't know what he's going to do to get down or to help anybody from there, right? Like so post turtle is just the idea that like you're up on a post and you don't really know. And you don't ever want to be there as an engineer. You want to know exactly what value you add to a process or a environment, and then see if and then that'll help you out. Let's see. This should be probably. I mean, we're probably not quite at 10 minutes yet, but when that hits 10 minutes, that'll either have fishermen built in or it won't, and then we'll either prove that it does push through or it doesn't. It should, and it should without us having to rebuild the overlay because we didn't change anything about the template. So there's things, if I had changed something in the template, I would have to rebuild the overlay, and that's different than what we did. We just changed the file that the template points at, and that never changes. So, well, let me get this out of the way here. This was just for us to watch the boot of that Rocky box, right? You guys can see Ranger laying around downstairs again. Oh, and also, I was telling you guys this earlier, but if anybody does come for our Linux Systems Administration meeting this week, my brother's going to come talk. So I'll do a little bit about the Kubernetes and running containers and all that stuff, and then he's going to come and talk to you guys about some of the he's going to talk about his career, and he's going to talk about like getting more density out of and squeezing more out of systems. So he has a unique perspective to me. He's my younger brother. He'll tell you about his career and like the things that he's done, and he's done quite a bit in the industry. So there's some fun stuff there. So yeah, Street Track. Hopefully that makes sense, especially if you're using overlays. There's an overlay that only stops at only hits at the beginning, and then there's overlays that you can have set to run at runtime. So. General idea of Quadlets, it's a file that you write similar to Composer file, but it's written in TOML and is closely tied to systemd, as the purpose is to generate systemd files for you and make them reproducible. That's interesting, Linux developer. I don't know much about that. I haven't ever played with that, but yeah, I mean, if you wanted to come and give a talk, or I think people would be interested in hearing about that stuff for sure. You'll find as you interact with people that are trying to get better at this stuff, like at the end of the day, really, like people just need to see it work, right? And then once you Street Track with the 500th WWCTL command, that's funny. Yeah, that's man, like You'll do so many of those commands that you're just going to be tired of them if you're running a werewolf cluster. But yeah, Linux developer, you'll find that like most people just want to see it done once or twice, and then they're like, "Oh, that's interesting," and then they run off and squirrel it away and figure out how to make it work better. And yeah, it's very useful. Oh man. Let me see. The wife says she's on her way home, so I only have a little bit more time on here. Excuse me. Let's by the way, while this is spinning over here, we can jump in this other window here. And we could do a tail dash F for var log werewolf. And then grep dash I for I just only want Rocky 1. Oh, that's gonna hold on. That would find all those other ones. Let's go like this. Rocky 1. So now we'll only see when Rocky 1 pulls. So when this procs, you know, when we see Fisherman, presumably we should also see him have just pulled his runtime over here. So if this works. So let's see. 51st and Cactus. Okay, so she's coming from down there. 1, 2, I just sent my wife a text, something we used to say in video games many years ago. Please, K, thanks, bye. I don't know if you guys ever have done that in games or whatever. All right, hold on. All right, it hasn't procced yet, but I also changed the werewolf here. Yeah, K, thanks, bye, or PLZKTHXBAI. That's how we used to do it back in the day for fun. And Runamucker, thanks for hopping by. We're not working too hard tonight. We're just kind of, oh man, we're just kind of hanging out, and we got into a talk about how overlays work. So one of these seconds, this thing should properly show that Fisherman is there, and it should be in coinciding with when Rocky 1 checks in from the WW client to pull his runtime overlay. When he does that, he should have that. And well, let's just keep watching here. We can keep watching for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with watching here. One of these seconds. Yeah. Me waiting 30 minutes for Azure policies to update. Yeah. IO Fault, I'm teaching a Network 350 class right now that deals with Azure, and it's it's basically an AZ900 and AZ104 like prep. So it's basics of Azure and Azure admin stuff. I have an AZ900. I never took the AZ104, but there's but I've been running that class for a few quarters now, so it's pretty good. Yeah. Even though I don't really do any workloads in Azure right now, so I don't have anything to do out there. Well, this is like watching a pot boil right here. No, that's fine. You don't need the certs. I mean, the certs, like, they just show baseline. I tell people all the time, certs will get you in the door. Certs don't show that you really know all that much. They just know, they know that you know all the terms. The AZ900 is literally a glossary. And you say, what's a glossary? Well, I mean, you know all the terms. That's all you do. You don't know much about him. All right, hold on. This should be. I mean, we must have hit this well. I guess he would have started his timer for his runtime when we rebooted him, so he's got to be getting close to 10 minutes. But it's funny. It was running at 1 minute in my cluster, and I changed it to 10 minutes because I was like, man, it's just 1 minute was too fast. It was just too much. One exception is a certified ethical hacker. That one does make you an actual. You know, we studied back before I started streaming. I actually made some packets for the guys that used to come over to my house. So this would have been before COVID even hit, and we were all studying for the CEH. We were gonna go take it, and that's one of the ones I've joked around about how I think I could just walk on and pass it. But I always give a cert test a certain amount of respect, and I always study it. I used to joke around about how I thought I could just walk on and pass the CISSP, which I did study for my CISSP, and I don't think I would have passed it without studying. There was a lot of minutia, and the CISSP and the CCSP have a tremendous amount of minutia built into them that you really have to study and spend time with. But yeah, certified ethical hackers probably similar. And also, I think the reason a lot of the guys got away from it when this was like in 2019 when we were kind of studying we were all at my house before we even got the Discord really running much. And the Discord was up in 2019, but it was really just because a few of the guys wanted to hop on from Colorado and talk with us. So then we probably had like 20 or 30 people in the Discord total. It was kind of funny. But then, where was I going with that? Oh, I forget. But thanks for the follow. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We try to, try to not work too hard around here. But also, hopefully keep some fun stuff going on. That's good. Man, this is the longest 10 minutes ever. I wonder if I set it higher. Did I set it to like 3,600 and it's only once an hour or something, and now we gotta wait? No, and you do have to tune stuff like this in your clusters. Like maybe you don't want all your nodes pulling all their runtimes every few minutes, right? If you have thousands of nodes, it's very possible that you don't want that behavior to happen in your environment. So you minimize it. All right. But let's see. I'm curious. If we wanted to, by the way, we could also come over here. Let me move one more over. Let's go into werewolf real quick here. What? I don't have that keyed? Oh, it's got it, werewolf. What? What? Dumb. Alright, there. Let's go to cat Etsy werewolf.com, and let's see what I set it to. So I set it to, every 600 seconds, so that's every 10 minutes. So it should be, it should be coming up eventually. Yeah, so this is a werewolf config if you've never seen one. You have a bunch of paths you can use, a bunch of container mounts. You can run NFS if you want to mount a bunch of stuff. We mount a bunch of stuff. And like labs are my locked-in labs that I don't want you guys changing, so they're read-only. And then lab work, you guys can put whatever you want in there, right? And so that was all that behavior. Let's go over here. This hasn't pulled. This hasn't. Longest 10 minutes ever, guys. Longest 10 minutes I've ever experienced right here. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Fisherman, still no user. No fisherman. Fisherman, you still around? It's got to be 10:30 there. It's pretty late for you. If you guys don't follow Fisherman, you should. He does a lot of AI stuff. He does a lot of good stuff. Oh, there he is. He's playing Brotato. He recently has done some. Well, he does work with different colleges and stuff with AI. So you guys should. His fucking memes are so funny. His little emotes over on the Twitch side are so funny. But if you guys don't follow him, you should. He does a lot of good stuff. He builds the little bot that runs, so he can show you guys how the bot works. And he's always looking. By the way, I haven't seen him update the bot in a while, So if you guys are like, hey, this bot should do this, let him know, because he's always looking for more stuff to do with the bot. And he's got the bot out on his GitHub, so you guys can go look at that stuff as well. And, he's always looking for more stuff to... Yeah, he's always looking for more ideas. Well, I mean, a lot of times the guys who can do the technical stuff aren't the idea guys. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm a pretty good engineer. Like, and I say that, like, to not sound too much of a Chad, but I'm pretty good as an engineer. But I am not great imaginatively. I would not be a great artist. I know that. I'm colorblind. I'm basically face blind. I'm like I'm blind if you've ever seen my glasses. Like I don't do well with anything like that. But I'm really good at systems. If somebody decides they want a system to look a certain way, I can build it typically. So yeah, my boss is the idea guy. He has a lot of ideas. Yeah, they're all bad ideas. We in the Army we used to call him the bad idea fairy. By the way, thanks for all you vets out there. You know, it is Veterans Day. It's getting near the end, so we can't get any more Denny's in us today. Hit 24 Denny's in 24 hours. No, I'm just kidding. I saw a really good write-up. I don't go get any free stuff, but I saw a lot of... I saw a write-up of like how a guy was planning to eat 7,200 calories of food for free, and it was hilarious. He had to keep taking bathroom breaks in his plan. It was pretty good. I think I might have posted up in the Discord. I don't remember. Yeah, it's a lot of Denny's. Yeah, for their... All you get is pancakes, too. Well, Denny's will give you free stuff if you're a vet today. So any of you guys that are vets. I'm one of them Army infantry guys. Both expert and combat infantry, if you want to go look up what that means. Both of those have some weight of meaning to me. So... I used to joke around when I first got the good idea fairy. When I first got out of when I first got out of Iraq and my friends were all hanging around and they all had their CIBs on, their combat infantryman's badges. I wore my expert infantryman's badge, and they were always like, "Why don't you wear your CIB?" And I was like, "Well, because I only had to get shot at for that one. I had to be good at my job for this one, so I would wear my expert infantryman's badge. It's still on my DCUs as well, which are your desert camo uniform. So." You get a free Grand Slam. Had to go out today and didn't realize why day. Yeah, it's Veterans Day. Yeah, 5-shot. Any place giving stuff away. Yeah, I was Army Infantry. Yep, U.S. Army Infantry. 99 to 2003. I kicked off Iraq in 03. My unit was supposed to come in through Turkey, and then the Turkish government got mad at us and told us we weren't allowed to get. I was not SF. I have good friends that were SF, but I was not a special forces guy. I was just an infantry guy. But that was you that kicked off. Yeah. And I did it so we could get more of their Earl. No, I'm just kidding. No. I definitely, we took everything north of Baghdad. But we were supposed to come in from the north. And then if you guys remember, Turkey told us, nope, you can't come in through here. And we had spent $2 billion renovating their ports, and all of our vehicles were on ships in the Mediterranean Sea. So what happened was when Turkey told us no, everything had to come out and around the Horn of Africa and come up to Kuwait. So I actually entered through Kuwait and then went up into Iraq, which was kind of funny. So I was actually in Kuwait when Baghdad fell, and then we took everything north like a day later. Yeah, 5-shot. I think reserves are good. My older brother Steve is still a recruiter for he's a National Guard recruiter, and he is out here in Phoenix. Hold on, why is this not? I am very. This has been over 10 minutes, so. Well. Let's see. Those are all there. Those are all lab users, flat pack, whatever other stuff's on there. Scott, CP. Alright. Cat, Etsy, Pass, WD. Fisherman's there. And here's all of these. But fuck it. Tail. We'll just grep Rocky 1 from Varlog Werewolf D. And this is going to be a lot, but we're just looking for the most recent one. Where was the most recent one? Where the hell is it? That's weird. I don't even see one. Why the hell is he not checked in? Alright, well, here's what we can check. This is super weird. Go back to Rocky 1. System CTL status. WWE client. He has... He just grabbed... Oh, man. He's grabbed a new version here in the last 5... Oh, in the last 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. My older brother or me? I don't. Hold on, I'm missing some stuff in chat. Hold on, guys. Oh, shoot. Wow. I am like, just, man. Oh. Hold on. Wait. Okay, you guys are talking. Good. Okay. It's good when you guys are working each other or working stuff out. That's always important. All right. Why is this not? Etsy past WD. This is not. One, this doesn't look right because this is all busted right here. Oh shit. Oh, hold on. I might have to. Let me, guys. I might have. Hold on. Shit. Oh man. Let's do something real quick. Guys, this was my bad. So I didn't update the the host file. So that should have been once I did that, then technically, but still, it was weird that wasn't pulling. Like maybe I don't know what was going on. Oh, because it wasn't gonna have a space after. Well, that was my bad. That was kind of dumb on my part. It should have had a colon after it like that. And then over here, I wonder if I can just trigger that by restarting it. System CTL status W client, and then system. Let's just do a restart on it. I'm curious if this will pull. I've never tried to do this before. So, oh my gosh. All right, so let's see what's the status. I just did it right now. Perfect. Huh. No, still nothing there. He did pull his runtime. But, I mean, I guess I can do an overlay build, right? But that seems silly that I'd have to rebuild. Ah, shit. I mean, I guess. Well, we're finding out stuff about how this works. So we would have to go through the whole thing. Yep. All right. So just re-update the system. Yeah, there he is. All right. Well, so that geez, that's a nice feature. So what that means is just because you added a user over here in Werewolf, you then have to. You probably just have to rebuild the overlay. But I didn't think to rebuild the overlay because I thought that it was just going to pull the new file. But yeah, I guess it's probably just the overlay build. I don't think I had to do that reconfigure. And the way we would test that is we would add another user right now, and then we would test and pull without doing that configure. And that's how we would make sure that this kind of all works the way that we want. Okay, yeah, you guys are figuring out each other's problems over there. That's good. There's all. Oh, look at Ranger. He's looking at the camera. There's always a Discord you guys can hang out in. You guys are welcome to hang out down there. We have a bunch of labs that you guys can go play with too in Killer Coda. I'm always trying to tell you guys about those labs because the labs, you know, they don't cost anything, and that's one of the main reasons to do anything. I think is to. I tell you guys all the time, if you could go play with this stuff, right? And then you look at it and you do it for a few minutes and you go, that's stupid. I don't want nothing to do with that anymore. I would rather do that here for free. I would 100% rather do that here for free than go and like get into a college class. I've had college students tell me, like, we'll be in like a 200 level class in networking, and they'll be like, I hate Cisco command line. I can't do it. And I go, well, this was an expensive way to find out that this wasn't a career you're going to go into, right? I would rather go find that out for free. And I've had to tell, by the way, you might think that's mean. I've had to tell college students that. Well, then you should pick a different career path right now because you literally hate this. Like, if you hate the command line, that's fine, but don't be a Linux engineer then. Don't be a Linux admin. And that's, I don't know, like, I don't know how to say it except that's not mean. It would be like if you asked me, hey, Scott, why aren't you a skydiving instructor? I have no intention of ever jumping out of an airplane. Never once. Wouldn't do it. That's why I'm not ever going to be one. I don't like it. And I think that people should understand what they do and don't like. And it's way better to find that out for free, I think. So that's why I show you guys those labs and I show you the stuff. You know, you can hang out and be an amateur and that's fun. But like for oh man, it's hard with students, man. Like they'll just be like, I can't get this stuff. I hate it. And I'm like, well, then I don't know what else to tell you, you know? Like you got to go do something else. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't tell students not to stick with it. It's just if they're expressing to me that they can't do it and it's terrible, you know, and they hate it, and I go, well, then this is the job. Or when they're like, well, I'll just get through this class and then I won't have to worry about this anymore. And I'm like, you guys have to understand, you don't finish college and then people just throw money at you because you have a degree. You finish college and now you have to keep that level for the rest of your career. Like people think, oh, it's just, you know, I hear people call it a piece of paper. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's a piece of paper that means you should be at a certain level. And if you're not at that level, you're not going to get paid at that, you know, and that's just a thing that happens in engineering, right? Something to think about for you guys. And, I don't know how to say that. I'm just gonna call you Pepper. Thanks for the follow. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We're not working too hard tonight. In fact, I got to get off here shortly because the wife's coming home, and she's grabbing me some quesadillas before she goes. Just cheese quesadillas, nothing heavy. Just gonna eat some quesadillas from Pollo Loco. So, finish school, should be senior engineers. Yeah, Pepper. That's. I would agree with that. Yeah, it takes some time to bake in to be a senior or a staff or a principal type engineer. 100%. Yeah. And I've laid that out for you guys before. Like the DoD and like companies that work for the DoD, they tend to have their associate and then junior and then engineer. So it's associate engineer, junior engineer, engineer, senior, and then it tends to go staff, senior staff, and then principal, and then senior principal. And yeah, it takes some time to get up to those upper levels, right? Like I'm considered a principal engineer at High Performance Computing in my company, but it's funny. Like my company just calls us all Linux administrators, anyways. So I think it's kind of funny. It doesn't really matter. Like I don't care what my title is as long as they're paying me. So I had a buddy that used to say that all the time. He's like I don't care as long as you pay me, as long as that check's in every week. And that was when we worked at Lockheed Martin. By the way, I will always tell you guys this. One of the best things, if you ever go work at Lockheed Martin, they're one of the last companies on planet Earth that pays you every Friday. They pay you every Friday at Lockheed Martin. Yeah. Root guy, you said you have like 60 to 70% with advanced degrees. Nice. Yeah, I'm like, and it's funny. Like for me, I'm getting my my doctorate right now, but I'm not really gonna use my doctorate much in my day-to-day work. I'm probably just gonna use it more with my writing and my research and like my building of training courses with you guys, right? Like, in fact, I've thought recently about changing my the focus of my dissertation from the red teaming stuff over to like retaining engineers with good training. So yeah, Q. That's I tell you guys. Sometimes I get into roles, or sometimes I go places where we don't have to change stuff much, and it's super nice. Sometimes you're in like a fast-paced environment where people are changing stuff often, and that sucks. But then that kind of forces you to get some of your scripting better and some of your other stuff better. So yeah, enterprise Linux should move slowly, right? If you're running something for stability as the core, that's something to think about. But yeah, you guys, we've got all these labs out there for you guys to do. If you do any of the labs and have questions, feel free to just message me on Discord or let me know. There's Discord. We're up to 3,200 people in there. Well, like right at 3,200. So it's like we were barely in March. We were barely hitting 1,000 people, and then we kind of blew up a little bit, and a lot of people wanting to get into Linux, right? Our stated goal is to get you guys from being amateurs and maybe hobbyists to being professionals. So we want you guys to do this stuff and get some professional experience, you know? Oh, man. All right. We should find somebody to raid over to. I'll probably hop off of here in a little bit, but I appreciate you guys coming by. You know, I didn't have a lot of energy today. I probably look like crap. So that's why I'm the little panda bear for today. But, yeah, you guys are welcome to. Let's go find somebody to raid. Who's on right now that we can raid for fun? We probably got somebody good online doing something fun. We could go. Can I send you guys? I'll send you guys over to somebody that you might think is he's got a Microsoft background, but don't hold that against him. The guy has some really cool projects that are heavily electronic engineering and Linux based. So we're gonna go raid over to Harold Pulcher. Our message will be probably some kind of Linux rage, do all the Linux, something like that. But yeah, let's go over there, raid to him, hang out with him a little bit. He does some really fun projects that are I think really good high tech stuff, even though it's really simple, like really simple projects he does. But you guys could get in and do that kind of stuff. So let's go raid over there, and then I will talk to you guys. I'll be probably back on tomorrow night. So take care, everybody.